Alright class, in this video I want to show you how to make a histogram, and so I'll show you exactly what it is that we want. You'll get some data. So usually what happens is you find some data on the web, or you find it, or someone sends you a file with a bunch of numbers, and then what you can do is you can download it to your Excel spreadsheet or type it in. Usually you download it though. And then what you like to do is maybe find frequencies, right? Calculate how many times do you get numbers between 299.5 and 349.5, and how many numbers are there between 349. And so these are kind of our answers. But I want to show you how Excel can do this for you so you don't actually have to count them, because I don't think anybody would want to count these. And then once you have that data in a nice little frequency, then you can create what is called a frequency table, or a histogram is better. It's kind of as it's better known. And so here is the data. I actually typed this in myself, but usually, like I said, you download it. And what I want to do is say, okay, well, I need these ranges, right? I want 299.5. Notice that they told us they wanted, the people that were telling us in the book anyway, wanted ranges that were 50 long. So 299.5 to 349.5. And I already put the dashes in between. And I like Excel to do as much as possible, so I say, okay, now I just want to take this number above L2 and add 50 to it. And then if I do that, and if I drag down here at the corner, like this, then it should add everything by 50. And notice this is exactly the same intervals. And let me go back to the first window. Notice that from 299 to 749.5. Oh, I need one more. There we go. And then I do the same thing here. I go equals, take N2, this guy right here, add 50 to that, and then we go down. Now, the function that I use to be able to calculate this is called count ifs. So I want to know how many numbers there are between 299 and 349.5. Count ifs is there you see it right there. And then what you do is in the parentheses you put the range, but notice that it tells you kind of what it is that you're supposed to do. A criteria and a range, another criteria and a range. And so let me explain what this means. So first of all, I wanted to analyze every number here, and I wanted to tell me which of these are greater. Now the way I'm going to do greater than is you have to put it in quotation marks. I don't know why, but it has to be greater than. And what do I want it to be greater than? Well, I want it to be greater than 299.5, but again, this is sort of the syntax or the way that it's done in Excel. You put an ampersand symbol, that's the symbol right above the 7, and then I click on the 299. I want it to be bigger than that cell. But I also want this range, so from here to here, so I highlight it again, from there to there. I want that, parentheses, to be less than, so less than. I need the ampersand, so again above the 7. I want it to be 349.5. And then I press enter, and hopefully I typed everything right with no mistakes, and it tells me there's only one. Okay, so if you actually had to go through this whole table by yourself and eyeball it, you can pause the video if you want, see if you can find the one that, just so you don't spend too much time, it's actually right here. This is the only value of 340. Now if you don't believe me that I've looked at this closely, I did, here it is. They came up with 1, 2 in the book, so I'm pretty sure we're correct on this one. Okay, so now normally what we do is, if you notice in the previously, I just went to this corner and I just dragged down. But when I do that, notice that these numbers don't give me the same numbers. In fact, let me do a sum here. Sum of these guys. I notice I get 47, so something went wrong. Well, what happened is that when you do a copy, it tries to copy sort of what you did with the beginning. So for example, here, notice that when I click inside this up here, where in this bar where the formula is at, you're looking at the numbers in this range. But if I look at this one and I click in there, it actually lowered it by 1. And it actually thinks that this is the pattern that Excel doesn't know. Excel thinks that this is the pattern that you want. You wanted to copy, and it was expecting a pattern. And notice that each time I click on these, the box, this highlighted area, moves down. So how do we fix that? Well, if you haven't done this yet, or if you don't remember, we actually put dollar signs in front of I put them in front of the letter and in front of the number. So from A1 with dollar signs to J10 with dollar signs. And same thing here, from A1 to J10. And now when I copy, let's see what happens. Voila, there we go, 100. And if you compare these answers to the ones in the book, you'll notice that they're exactly the same. Okay, so we did it correctly. All right, now we need to make a histogram. And so for this, we go to charts, And so I did want to show you how you don't have to count these things, so please don't count. Try to watch this video so that you could have Excel count for you. But now let's go ahead and make a histogram. So here we go. There it is. There is, I don't like that little button. It doesn't give me any more information, the series part, but here it is. Here are the 10 categories that we have. But this is not what we want. If we look at our book and what they were hoping that we would be able to create, it's something that looks like this. Notice there are no gaps between the columns, and the labels below are the entrance exams. And then here, of course, you have frequency. And so the frequency is fine. That's not an issue. 0 to 25. They went 0 to 20. We can change this. We can adjust this if we'd like. But our labels down here aren't good. So what we do is what we've done before. I go to select, and I need to know what the x values are. And for the x values, I'm just taking these guys right here. And so there it is. So now I at least have that label correctly. But what I don't have are no gaps. And so what I do is I click on the data itself, and then I right-click on this data and go to Format Data Series. And here where it says gap, I make sure it says 0%. There we go, 0%. And now at least it looks a little bit better. And as you know, you want to add titles. You go to here where it says Axis Title or Chart Title. You can make this look spiffier, I guess. If you don't like this particular histogram, you can make it pop out a little bit more. This looks a little bit nicer. You can see it a little bit better. And of course, all the options for these histograms or for these bar graphs are right here. You can even do maybe a background that's darker. This maybe you like that one a little bit better. So in any case, this is how you would create the histogram that you have in the book and how you would use Excel to count so that you don't have to. And like last time, you can definitely place this now in a Word file or a PowerPoint file so that you can use for a presentation of some sort. All right, that's it.